up, YouTube? Your boy, that guy named Jay, checking back in. Alright. So, my man D-Raj made a video a while back, and we had talked about it for a long time before he actually made the video. I was actually going to steal the topic, but, you know, because I respect his channel, I let him, you know, have that. But it was something that we talked about the most dangerous load. And you know, I was telling him about situations that I deal with as a local driver, and we were comparing it to him on a load when he's on his way on home time. And based off of that theory and that video he put out and that conversation that we had, man, I'm under the belief that this is the most dangerous trucking job I've ever had. And it's simply not because it's a container, not because it's, you know, 3 separate parts, a truck, chassis, and container versus a truck and a trailer like most trucks. Not because of any special freight that I'm hauling, simply because I'm trying to be home every day. Simply because I'm trying to be home every day. I think that Great Wide was more dangerous because with Great Wide, I was in a situation where I was still technically OTR, but I was trying to be home. Well, I was home every other day. What that creates, though, is that when you're in a situation where, you know, when you're driving out to like a Kentucky or West Virginia or Maryland or wherever you're going out to, your chill mode is relax. I'm going to a customer. I'm not sweating. But then the following day, when you are now coming back home, and your main objective for that day is to make it home, it then becomes a situation where it's just like, yo, no matter what happens today, I'm going to get home. And when you get to those type of situations, it can become more dangerous because you're willing to cut more corners. Of course, in a perfect world, everyone is a safe driver. Nobody is doing anything that is illegal behind the steering wheel. But there are times, and I'm pretty sure that local drivers can attest to this, is just times, man, when you're trying to get home, you know what I'm saying? You might touch that yellow light. You know what I'm saying? You might hit a rolling stop. You might take that curve, you know, a little too fast because you're trying to get home, and it becomes a situation where you're rushing. You know, as a local truck driver, I think it's just, I don't know if it's behavioral reaction or mental, but towards the end of the shift, you know, you just start to get to that point where it's like, you know, home is getting close, and it's just like, man, you know, man, I don't, you know, I really don't want to do this load, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna cut corners. You know what I'm saying? You know, or you know, it's the end of the shift. My hours are almost up. It's just different things that a local truck driver, or maybe even a regional or dedicated, will experience that an OTR driver will only experience when they're going home. You know what I'm saying? For my OTR drivers that still choose to watch this channel, yeah, I know what I'm talking about, man. When you've either been on the road for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and you finally going home, man, bruh, ain't nothing gonna stop you from getting home. Tornadoes, typhoons, you know what I'm saying, earthquakes, nothing. For a local driver, man, we dealing with that shit every day. You know, whatever time your shift in, about 2 hours before then, you don't care if you touching boxes, you throwing them boxes like you don't give a fuck if they fragile or not. You know, if you running the port and you got an appointment, and even like running like my situation with the port right now, the way we do our appointment times, sometimes we don't get out of the bed, you know what I'm saying, as soon as we should. So now what happens is, like, when it comes to that first load and that first appointment, instead of getting out of the bed at 5 a.m., maybe we don't get out of bed till 5:30, 5:45. Now we're rushing. And it's cool while we in the house and we in our personal vehicles driving to work. But then once we get in that truck and we realize we behind, now our whole day is going to be spent rushing until we catch up. Now that whole day, we are more likely to cut corners. We are more likely to do things that shouldn't be done in the truck. I ain't gonna say nothing in specific because I ain't no snitch. You know what I'm saying? Despite what people may call me, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be out here, you know, letting niggas know what local truck drivers doing, but my local truck drivers know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like, man, this is a dangerous job, man. Trucking is already a dangerous job, but when you put yourself in a situation where, you know, you're home every day or you're trying to do something every day, it just puts it just adds stress on top of what I feel like is one of the most stressful, top 10 stressful job in the nation. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say, just be careful, man. You know, being local, being home every day is cool, but it's not worth, you know, risking an accident. It's not worth, you know, losing your CDL or losing your life. You know what I'm saying? There's already too many dangers out here with these dumbass four-wheelers. Let's not give them a reason. Let's not give them more evidence. You know what I'm saying? They already don't respect us. So if they not respecting us and we rushing and we not respecting them, that's a bad mixture, man. It's only a matter of time. And see, the thing is, as a local truck driver, we are going to come in contact with certain things a lot more than an OTR driver. You know, tight turns, you know, congestion, backing, stopping and going, getting in and out of the truck. You'd be surprised how many truck drivers then bust their ass getting out the truck because they rushing, trying to jump out the truck, running the receiver or whatever they doing. So that's just my opinion, man. I feel like local truck driving is way more dangerous than any OTR position. I feel like if you're going to choose to do that, man, you need to understand that home ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a dedicated or regional driver, maybe you don't make it back home. I understand what and then now that makes me realize why guys was so against the e-logs, because now as a local driver, it don't bother me with the e-logs, but when you're doing like a dedicated situation or regional where you're going out and back, and now you underneath that, you know, that window, if you will, you know, that 14 hit that 11, or you get to a shipper and they take too long or receive it too long, and now you got 7 hours and 55 minutes to drive, and you 7 hours and 56 minutes away from home. You know what I'm saying? It's a strain, and you don't want to stop for nothing. You know how many times I risked running out of fuel because I didn't want to stop for fuel on my way back home when I was coming from a Kentucky or a Tennessee with Great Wide. You know what I'm saying? So even as a local truck driver, you know what I'm saying? You know, I know I should fuel at the end of the shift, but I'm so ready to go home, I'll wait and do it the next morning before, and now that extra 15 to 30 minutes of fueling then slowed me down or put me behind for the day. Now I'm spending the rest of the day rushing. It's just small things like that'll, you know, as a local driver, it pays big dividends. As an OTR driver, you get, most of the time, you get big windows to deliver freight. And when you with a mega carrier or a company that has multiple trailers, you can do your dropping hooks, you can do your T-swaps or repowers or whatever they may be called, but it's all the same at your specific company. But when you're in a situation where you at a smaller company that's local, regional, mom and pops, it ain't nobody coming to get that. You gotta get that bit there. You know what I mean? Even an OTR as a like an owner operator with a smaller carrier, ain't nobody coming to get that freight. You got to get that joint there. If you can't get it there, you done messed up your whole week. So it's the same thing, man. So just be careful, be mindful, be productive. As I always say, be safe and be productive, man. That's just the best thing I could tell you, man. You know, not just local, but all truck drivers, man. And again, all this money out here to be made, that you can't make that shit from the grave. You can't make that shit from the hospital. You can't make that shit without a CDL, and you can't make that shit in jail. So keep that in mind when you're trying to cut corners. Keep that in mind when you want to sleep an extra 30 minutes. This shit ain't for everybody. So if you can't be productive and you can't be efficient and still make money and still be safe, again, truck driving just might not be for you. There's nothing wrong with that, man. You got to call a spade a spade. It takes a special breed to be a truck driver. I know people don't want to respect it for what it is, because it is a lot of steering wheel holders out here and a lot of people who don't fully understand what they're doing behind that wheel, but it ain't for everybody, man. That's just the realest I can be with you. So if you gonna come out here and do it, come out here and do it right, man. We don't need no more bad truck drivers out here. That's a fact. They already trying to put regulations on us every other day, changing rules and replace us with computers. Let's not give them any more reason to speed up and expedite that process. That's just my opinion, though. But as always, man, stay safe, stay positive, stay productive. God, family, trucking, I'm gone.